good, I guess.
Mhm.
Okay, we got out. Give us 1 second. I want to add another picture real fast. Um, you'll start. I'll find those other eyeshine.
Okay. Um, Hello, this is July 20th, and we would like to make some announcement first while Jerry loads up some pictures from the home that we're going to be talking about tonight. We have two other pages, Oklahoma Bigfoot Predator Watch and Choctaw Missing and Murdered Women, WOMBMAN, and Sun Center and Database. And we welcome you to join those Facebook pages too. Uh, we have a DVD for sale that has all the information that has been on many videos that we've done, that everything you need to know about Predator Bigfoot and other variants, to protect yourself, protect your communities, protect your families. We're seeing an uptick in aggression, and there's just things that you need to know. Also, we'll be having a DVD with spiritual cleansing of homes to teach you how to do that, and that will be for love offerings only. And because we're also seeing an uptick in paranormal activities and spiritual warfare in homes and families, and not everybody's taught how to deal with that kind of thing. So tonight we're going to be talking about our family in Louisiana. It's a Navajo family that we did a track at. We went and stayed with them. They've been being harassed for a while by Bigfoot, and they wanted confirmation. We went there to do track and locate and to just confirm that that is what was going on, to show them how to use some tools that will help them to be safer, and different ways that they could deter Bigfoot and the other predators from their area. Uh, Definitely a lot of activity there.
It was in just a second. Um, the PayPal is also on the screen for the DVD, the Bigfoot documentary. You do need this Bigfoot documentary, especially if you have activity right now. Um, it will help you to deter and answer all the questions that you need. This DVD has already saved lives, so we know that the information is needed, and just send it through the PayPal. We'll send it out that very next day, or that day if possible. Um, it is Blu-ray. Um, did we talk about the Choctaw Missing Murder?
Yes.
Okay. I'm actually looking for another set of eyeshine that was watching the family that we're talking about from across the street, and we captured it, but we wanted to, you know, we wanted to make sure it was what we seen. So we brought all the information back here where we could put it on the computer, make it bigger, and now we're just looking for this one more set of eye shine. And I know it's just right here.
We just talked to the homeowner a few minutes ago, and she said that they have found a blind, a new blind in the yard in a cedar tree. And we told her how they can remove all of the foliage from it and just leave the framework so that it exposes the blind, so that the Bigfoot know that you know they're there, and so that other people may ask why you trimmed it that way, and it'll open up a conversation because the neighbors have to be also noticing what's going on in this neighborhood.
Yeah, the part I'm looking for, we know that these predators will get the very best visible location to watch prey, whether that's people or animals. And so we just waited until it got dark and waited and watched this certain area. And then we went and turned on the night vision quickly, and we captured more of them. But if I can't find them, I really don't.
And this is a neighborhood right up in a little town with, we're not talking long country blocks. It's just a couple houses per block and very narrow patches of woods, and they all have blinds and structures in those patches of woods. When people are trying to walk up and down these streets, and they're very dark streets, they can hear the predators pacing them bipedally in the woods. Also the howling and different things like that. And once we showed them what it's like to look through the night vision and through the thermals and how to do that, they were so excited, and they're going to be getting that for themselves to be able to keep an eye on the neighborhood. Since we were there, they've also learned how to look through some other sections around there and have found paths going through from a neighbor's property that runs along a fence line, and there's bedding down areas all behind there too. So these predators are behind cars, behind this person's car, all around, very small lots, all the way around the fences. If there's a spot that you have an overgrowth of foliage, they will take advantage of that. Since we were there and they watched the DVD, she said that the husband has been, he's now convinced that they are there and knows what he's been seeing since he was a child, that he's also found lots of weapons when he was a child. Now that he understood what they are, it all starts coming back, and it was with this, the lady of the house too. She's remembering that a year or so ago, their large dog got hung on the fence, and now it makes sense of why that happened.
Mm-hmm. But we're also want to share with you some night vision video and pictures, the confirmation that we got for the family, but also the Bigfoot DVD. A lot of the techniques that we did, And we'll give you the scenario in just a second. But the techniques that we used here, you can also find in the Bigfoot documentary of how we do things, why we do things. And then you can watch on this channel the updates, and you'll see that the information in the Bigfoot documentary is uh, it's the most exact information that you need, whether you know if you have Bigfoots around you or not. But we have found an uptick in them. There's an increase around homes and apartment complexes and things like that, food areas, daycares, roadside parks, and we do in this documentary go to all these places and show you what to look for. The documentary does show you Bigfoots, translucent Bigfoots, what to look for, how to look for them. The information that we're talking about tonight and the place that we went to was to help give them confirmation of Bigfoot activity in their area. And this is some things that we also talk about with the full moons, new moons, the waxing, the waning, the super moons, blood moons, blue moons, and things like that, and things that happen on those times. Those are feasting times, but those are also juvenile times to be out. But so we're going into this area. We're through with some other things that we had to attend to. So now we're free to visit the family who also has the DVD, but we actually wanted to go to their area to help them and give them confirmation of the activity in their area. So it was a surprise visit, but we were treated like family, and we became family. Started off as friends, and now we're family with them. And we just talked with them a little while ago. But the person that we're talking about had been sharing their story and things like that for a couple months now. As some of the other people, some of the other callers, we keep up with you whenever you call us, and we talk about your story and what, some of the things that are going on now and what we can help you with now. We don't give you opinions. We tell you exactly what you need to do. And we've been helping other families like that through here. But this is a channel for our trackers, for our tracking team. And all of them should be tuning in, or they will be watching the video later. But this is to update them on what we've been doing. And they will also call us and give us some updates of what's going on in their areas. So we're going to go ahead and start off. We'll give you the scenario of we're going to a friend's location. It's in Louisiana. We were passing through, but we had time to stop, and we wanted to make a special trip there to help them. And I mean, help them in a way of just doing some tracking for them in their area, to give them a confirmation of what we found, whether it's just animal prints, human invaders, or the Bigfoot predators. We will find the tracks. We will track it back to its location of origin and find the pathways that people need to look for. We just kind of give them an outlook of what's going on in their area. As we're going to this area, this is a super moon. This is a big bright moon. This is a hunting time for Bigfoots. They're going to be out. It's like bright daylight to them, like they're out in daylight. So they got free reign. They can see, great distance now. We know that this area has a lot of Bigfoot activity from the reports that we've been getting from not only from the family, but from other people who have started to notice certain oddities in their area, around dumpsters, in places of work also. So we get there and we do our own track, I mean, a little scouting before we meet with the family. Before they know that we're there, we're already hitting some of the back roads, looking for signs and tracks and entry and exit points, ambush places, waterways. This is also a place of um, missing people, drownings, or there's an uptick. There was when we were there, there was a missing young man and young woman, children, I believe, two young ones. Um,
And a special needs man also.
and a special needs man, and um, you talk to some of the employees at one of the stores and ask them a couple of questions of um, if they knew the Rougarou, or and so nobody, well, some of the people, at least some of the people that are out in the general public, don't know that Bigfoots are in their areas, and we've seen blinds and signs all up and down that road and leading into that town. Either way, we've got friends in that area in two locations near that spot who have lots of activity. One's a tracker, and the other one's a mother that keeps up with the area with her children. But so as we're going into this area on the super moon, so we already know to be cautious. They're going to be out. We know that. We're going to be out also in the night time. We're going to see what we can find for the family. So we're already, we know it's a super moon, so we know that they're going to be out. That's one of the first things that we're talking about on our way in. And so we're going to play this little video clip. It's going to take just a second, but it's going to kind of start off what we were going into, and then we'll talk more about it in just a second.
Nighttime, a severe thunderstorm was located near Darnell, or 12 miles west of Transylvania, moving south at 30 miles per hour. Hazard, ping-pong ball-sized hail and 60 miles per hour wind gusts. Source, radar indicated. Impact, people and animals outdoors will be injured. Expect hail damage to roofs, siding, windows, and vehicles. Expect wind damage to roofs, siding, and trees. This severe thunderstorm will be near Darnell around 5 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Monticello around 5:10 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Borden around 5:20 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Delhi, Waverly, and Tyndall around 5:35 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Other locations impacted by this severe thunderstorm include Pioneer and Epps. For your protection, move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a building. Repeating, a severe thunderstorm warning has been issued until 6 p.m. Central Daylight Time for the following parishes in Louisiana: Richmond and West Carroll.
So we got the super moon coming up. That's a grand hunting time for especially juvenile Bigfoots. Now the 3/4 of the moon to new moon, that's when they all get to hunt, all sizes, from the 25-footers to the smallest creepy crawlers. They all get to hunt during that time because there's no visible light. So the more vicious looking ones won't even be out until it's pitch dark, or in some places they've just been watching for a long time, but you're only going to find them in the darkest of the dark. So now We're going into the blood moon. We've got the um, thunderstorm warning, the severe thunderstorm warning. To us, this is textbook for Bigfoot to take somebody, to destroy homes and things like that. Um, and everything that we talked about in previous broadcasts of your thresholds, your home, your body, your cars, and things, and thunder and lightning. If you've missed some of those episodes, I think they're under thresholds or thunder and lightning, a couple back. But we talk about the Bigfoot groups known as thunder and lightning. There's other ones like rain, dew, fog, mist. These are Bigfoot groups that hunt only during the rain, thunder and lightning, also rain. Um, but we know going into where we're going, we know there's Bigfoot activity. We're going in on the supermoon. We just got a weather report, a severe thunderstorm warning. So we got all the signs that these Bigfoots are going to be in this area hunting. Normal, I guess you would call it normal people would not know all this information. They're the ones who are taught to go into the center of your house and hide, really. The thunderstorm warning also said that your pets would be hurt. They said would be, they didn't say might be, they said would be hurt out in that thunderstorm. Trees, the siding, roofs, and those are things that we talked about with thunder and lightning. They will try to raise your roof. They'll try to, any opening that you give them, they'll try to lift the gutters, tear that up. If not, they'll knock a tree onto your house and try to crack it that way. They're looking for any threshold opening. And also the hunting group Lightning, the Bigfoot hunting group Lightning, will make that loud lightning sound like, and then you got the other ones that make the thunder sound like. And when you do that, or when you do hear that, we also have been sharing that technique of hitting your car alarm outside while you're inside, and sporadic and 1, 2, and 3, just different beeps for every thunder sound, for every tremor that you feel, and every sound of crashing lightning. Hit your car alarm, and if they're Bigfoot groups, they're going to move away from you. They don't want to expose because you're pinpointing that every time you hear that thunder, you hit the alarm. And that is exposure to them. So they will move out of that area. They will give you room. So we know what can happen because if the people don't know what's going on, thunder and lightning groups, some rain groups will come in. They'll raise that roof or try to raise it, they'll check your doors too, see if they're unlocked. They'll try to lift your windows if they're, the old style that will lift. Even if it's hot, keep those doors or windows locked until morning or until that daybreak, and they won't come in. But also be aware of that because any threshold that you give them, even your mind or dreams, that they will enter. But they will try to knock off the siding, and they will also knock trees over where the big bushy part is facing the door of the home. And they're going to be waiting behind that brush for animals, people, anything that might walk through there. They just got closer and put a brush blind right in front of your back door. So be careful about that. Always have a group to help you cut that wood out and get rid of it as soon as possible.
And we're not saying that every tree that falls or every storm or every flash of lightning is Bigfoot. We're saying that they take advantage of natural weather or manipulated weather. Jump down that rabbit hole sometime, and that's when they're allowed to work. That's when they can do their damage during those times. So those troops are, we call them the same names as the weather that they work under or that they mimic or take advantage of to advance their blinds.
So we're moving into this area. All signs of Bigfoot activity is going to happen. Only we know different techniques, or we know techniques that can deter Bigfoots from your area, and so those things don't happen. So the Bigfoots don't come to your front door, to your back door, um, and take advantage of your pets and things like that that might be left outside. Because when they come through, they're like throwing everything in sacks, just taking it. So your animals will disappear. The neighborhood cats, everything, squirrels. It's just they get a time to come and get whatever they can find out there. That includes people out there too. So always have shelter during the rain, during the thunder and severe storms. Make sure you have shelter. Make sure people that you know are inside and sheltered, because this is when they hunt.
And people will say, well, they must have run away in the storm, and never think beyond that, that did they or did they get snatched during the storm?
Yes, a lot of missing people during these storms. Also, this next part here, we also talk about, it's in the DVD, but we're moving into this area, and I'll have, if all right, I'll ask Tracker E to explain, because it is in the DVD also. Well, I think that's last videos.
Oh, this is a baby coyote. When we were waiting to meet up with the homeowner, we were just scouting the area. One of the things that we've talked about for a long time is how the Bigfoot predators will use small animals to, or even large animals, but at certain ambush spots to slow people down or to lure people into the woods, make them stop, wreck their car, get out, take a picture, whatever, anything to slow them down, to make them vulnerable. It's become almost a joke when we get to an isolated bridge that's either man-made or from a tree falling. Uh, these are ambush spots because it just makes it easy to block you off at either end. But sure enough, this little coyote puppy went across from left to right and right to left. And we drove around the block. We met with the family. We came back a little while later in a different car. And here he comes again. Same thing. The next day when we were there, same bridge in Armadillo that time, came across the road. Watch for those things. Another time it was not at this place, but a different bridge. A rabbit 2 or 3 times went through there, and you'll just notice it. They will herd those things through. Don't get out to take pictures. Don't get out to save them. Or if you do, I hope that you're well armed and well aware or have someone with you. And be careful picking up any critter anyway, even if a Bigfoot predator is not around, but be aware that those are ambush spots by bridges. So that's what that photo is.
Yeah, there was, and we were even with experienced trackers, and I think we're going to talk about that in a day or two. But and we was with search and rescue and things like that. But they will put things of interest or objects or puppies or things like that, small animals, to make people stop. And one of the trackers we was with, he actually stopped his vehicle, put it in reverse, went back to this one object and looked at it. And by that time, we've already prepared for an ambush. I mean, Tracker E and myself, we're preparing for an ambush. because the tracker that we're with is doing exactly like you're supposed to be doing. If you don't know it's an ambush, you will stop your vehicle, back it up, or you will stop and get out and go see that object, or it can be some wildlife, it could be an object, some kind of framework or something. But as soon as the tracker,
It could be a baby's car seat. How many times have you randomly seen a baby's car seat sitting in a ditch or on the side of the road? Why would that be? Why would that be?
yeah, they would also use a puppy out there.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen that multiple times and we've heard stories of after we told people, that they will use puppies and leave them in the forest or put them out into the forest, that people will stop and try to either go feed that puppy or try to take it home, and then people vanish. And people that we've talked to about that has said, yeah, I've seen that before. And I said, well, what do you want to do? And they said, well, go out there and feed it or take it home. But they also, their energy body told them that they needed to move on, that they had an appointment, that they had somewhere to go. So listen to that one. And think about that being a trap out there. Always think about traps. The scenario of would I be able to be trapped if I go into that ravine that I can't scale the walls out of? Is this a trap? So we're at the house now. We actually, well, the family meets us, and we get into their vehicle. They want to show us around instead of taking two vehicles. Be quicker just to pile into one so they can zip to where we need to go to. So we ride with them, and that's also the second time that Tracker E was talking about that the coyote puppy came out again. It was did the same thing to a different vehicle, but we all knew that. We was looking in the brush line. We wasn't watching that little coyote puppy. We was watching the brush line for movement and discoloration and things like that, smell. And so nothing happened at that time.
And this is the bridge that the girls had earlier.
Yeah.
The young women in the family had heard growling, sniffing, the overwhelming stench that we all know for Bigfoot. And
Jump, baby.
even see the water in it because the plants are so overgrown and because blinds are built, and the old fairy tales that we listen to about the ogre under the bridge, or the different stories like that, those weren't created for no reason. Those have stuck around a long time because they were taught to children to protect them or to teach them of things to be aware of.
And that's a big thing, to be aware, be observant. These things are in a lot of areas. They moved in around homes, apartment buildings like we were talking about. They are close right now. So, but you need to identify with them. You need to, well, not identify with them, but identify them. They do have the fear of being found out. So use that, expose their blinds, and you will find all the information about that also in the Bigfoot documentary. The information in there will help everyone. And the people who have the most active areas right now do need to get this DVD as quickly as possible. So now we're back at the house, and they're starting to cook for us. They're happy we're there. The family comes out to meet us, the rest of the family, and while we're talking, or Tracker E is talking with the homeowner, the wife. I have the opportunity to do a little scout around the yard and look for the blinded areas and ambush areas while she converses. And do you have any stories of that conversation?
she was just recapping of the different areas. One of the things we talked about was the young boy, and if you've been with the channel a little while, I say young boy, the young man, 18 or 19 years old. He came to visit from New Mexico. He he went to take a walk around the neighborhood when they were gone to work, and he took it lightly when they warned him about the Bigfoot, and the shows on TV, radio, YouTube lead people to believe that it's not as dangerous as what it is. So he did go into the woods. He got disoriented. Before the night was over, he got completely lost, was found very far away, with no clothes, no shoes, no glasses, absolutely terrified. He had a psychotic break, um, and just lots of troubles after that. And we would ask that you pray for him. I ask that you pray for him and for his family and for this family that invited him down. They're trying to help him all they can. We absolutely know that there's Bigfoot around there, and he was interested in exploring about them. He didn't take it seriously. He did say that they were all around him, and there are other things that we don't yet have the full information on, and we can see where it's headed, and we probably wouldn't share that information anyway. But just with what you already know, imagine the horror of that boy not being able to see with those sounds, absolute total darkness, unfamiliar area, and just my heart goes out to him. And so she was catching us up on him, and his troubles are by no means over. And then she also talked again a little bit about the woman that had left Walmart. She was carrying this was 2 years ago. This was in 2020, and returned that case, the information on that older case, over to Abnormal Investigations, and this family will get a hold of her, get a hold of them, and see what they can dig up on that. But anyway, the woman was headed back to her car. She turned towards the wood line. The wood line is very close. There's a lot of Bigfoot activity there, vocals, visual structures, in that area by the dumpster where they put the produce out. Anyway, this young lady disappeared, and they found her later. Her items were spread between there and a Tractor Supply store, and her car door was open. She was so far back under the thicket that it took 4 hours to cut her out. Her eyes were wide open, from what we've been told, and she was absolutely terrified, legs bleeding and scratched up. And if you've ever even gone blackberry picking, you know how much just one or two little stickers hurts. I can't even imagine the horror that would cause someone to crawl up so far up under or get drug up under into something like that. So prayers for their family also. But this is what's in this area, and along with the visuals that we found, thermals, the night vision, visuals, videos, photos, it's thick in that area, and people need to be aware of it. And one good thing is this homeowner has convinced the managers at that Walmart to always have two people to go out to those dumpsters together, instead of one little clerk going at night to throw produce in an area where these scavengers and predators are coming to.
Yeah, the area that we're talking about, like Tracker E was talking, it has a lot of activity, and we're talking the day that we show up, the homeowner is talking about how the dogs are yapping every night, all over the place, every night too. And this is our first night there, except we've already been doing, scouting the area, going up and down the roads, looking with the thermals, night vision. We're going into the locations again with the family. So we're running thermals and night vision again. We're coming back to the house. We have the dinner, or we cook outside, which of course we recommend not to do.
But it was delicious.
But it was delicious.
We were definitely keeping our eyes on that wood line.
And that's the normal kind of thing that people do.
Yes.
We don't do that here, but we will at like a park or something. But we don't do it at our home.
Where there's a lot of people around, a lot of activity.
Where there's a lot of activity, you can do things like that. But I wouldn't recommend doing it at home and then storing your grill right on your front porch.
And by activity, we mean human activity. Not...
Yes, human activity. Yeah. So we're talking with the family, but we're not talking total Bigfoot things. We are, we aren't. We're getting to know each other, talking about who we know and the families and the friends and connections and things that are going on. But we're not just fully talking Bigfoot at this moment. We're just kind of talking and getting to know each other, having dinner, as friends would have with a cookout, things we would normally do in an unoccupied area. But as we finished with that, the youth, I believe, wanted to have a stroll or a walk.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it was?
Mm-hmm. Down this little side street. It's actually where their front door would be, but if they use it more like the side. Very short street, very short city block. It was just that house, and then a trailer, and then a crossroad that teed into it, and then another abandoned house across the street, and then abandoned trailer across from it. And so these are on the far side of the T Street. And then, so it's abandoned trailer, and then another home with young people who come out only at night on their hoverboards. They're down on this very, very dark street. So this is a street they want to go down heavy woods on the left, but not heavy woods, but not thick woods, very narrow, between 25 and 50 feet, I would say. This is a little cut through street that the young people in the house are always bothered when they go up and down, very uneasy feeling. They can hear the bipedal stalking alongside them. Plenty of spots for something to hide between the junkyard that's next to them. And it's not literally a junkyard, but there's a lot of junk there. It's getting cleaned up very, very slowly. A lot of ambush spots there and everything across the street, and it's just a fantastic habitat for these things to pull in and observe and steal trash and everyone cooks out for one thing because it's so hot, and your homes don't get as hot if you don't have your oven going and your stove going. So here in the South, a lot of times we cook outside in the summer, so that's one of the reasons. And then there was also a night where they turned the electricity off, so that was another night to be cooking out, and everybody in the neighborhood was. So there's a lot of scraps around.
Yeah, the family, the youth, they wanted to take a walk, I guess. Mm-hmm. And we come outside the gate, which is right maybe 20 yards from where we was cooking out. There's a street that goes right down where that gate is. There's one light that covers that whole area, one street light. There's no other lights unless the houses have a solar lamp or something like that. So it's really a pitch dark area, neighborhood. The youth want to take a walk, so we decided to go with them. And when we get to the vehicle, we go to our vehicle first thing we do. If we're going to be in the dark, we go and grab our night vision, and we're pulling our night vision out, our thermals, all of our security measures. We're putting our gear on. The family's having to wait for us for just a few minutes. It doesn't take us long because we have everything ready. Not that we was going for this because we had other reasons, but we do carry certain things with us just in case we have to be out in the nighttime or something. But we turn everything on, and we get the youth, and we show them how to use the thermals and the night vision, what you're looking for, the discoloration. If it's a translucent in thermals, you want to look at the very bottom of the ground. You want to look for blue discoloration and then follow the image up or the outline. But also you're looking for white, yellow, red. Red is for more from a distance. White is more close in heat. The yellow is kind of a medium distant color. It should be outlined in red also. And then you just watch the thermal readings, because the little handheld thermal right in the center, it'll have whatever you're focused on, it'll give you a reading for that. And then it'll start hitting other things if they're in the area. And just watch for those temperature changes in the thermal. But also with the night vision, it's better to look for the outlines, but you're also looking for eye shine. And when you can catch them with their eye shine in the thermals, in the night vision. So we're explaining to the youth how to use them, and we want them to look through it so that they understand what we're seeing and how we use the equipment. And it was something to see them when they first looked through, with the night visions and the thermals, and see how they worked. It was that expression of I can see,
Empowering.
It is, because now you can see in the dark, which they hadn't done before, or at least they hadn't used this equipment before. But whenever they could see in the dark and they could use the thermals, they wanted to go further into the darkness. But Tracker E and myself also, if you've been keeping up with the channel, we talk about using our body, our feelings, as sensors and warnings to help the warrior. And we did run into that feeling.
Yes, it just felt like a wall of chills flooding down, like a waterfall of chills over and over. When you got to the cross street, I didn't want it. This just right there at the end of the house, the junkie house behind them, and then there was the cross street, and I just said, no, I'm not going past that, and I recommend you don't go past that. But, they're fascinated, and they walked a little further, and we do have that video, and you'll see it's a brother and a sister, and they're both very brave, and they didn't know what they weren't seeing at that time, but their bodies felt it, because you can see where they're walking along, and then they both stop. And I don't think they even realized that they both stopped, and then they switched places, and the eye shine that he caught is just right there, just a little bit beyond them, up and down this tree. That there were several of them staring at them, and across on the other side too, at the another abandoned house that had a light that the electricity was off everywhere at that point, wasn't it? Was it off?
No.
Right then? Okay.
Not
It was off. Okay, that was later. This place, though, it's an abandoned house. There's not usually any light coming on there at all. But at the same time that he was catching the eye shine, the lights at that abandoned house were when you see the blinking light, the flashing light, that's what that is. And they had no explanation for that. But we know that these things, work with energy, harness energy, electricity. Everything is energy. So
Yeah, also that there was a storm that we were talking about, the severe thunderstorm that's coming through. We can hear it in the distance. We know it's coming our way. We know that we got predators around us right now. We're coaxing the youth to return back up to where we are. We keep the night vision light on them. We keep them lit up so that the predators know that we are watching them, and for them not to do anything at that time.
and we're saying youth, but they're young adults.
Yes, young
They're
adults.
grown, but
Yeah, uh, and so the weather's coming our way. It's we can, the wind's picking up. You can see the lightning in the distance. Now we're starting to hear thunder, and so now we're in an occupied area. Our youth is making their way back to us. They do go back down again, and you'll see that in the second one. But they're making their way back, and we're every time that we hear thunder, we're hitting our alarm, and sporadically, and like a three, then a one, and a two, then a three again. But every time we hear thunder, we hit that alarm, and we also know that we got Bigfoots in front of us and off to the left of us, and that there are no dogs barking at this time either. It's like all the Bigfoots just made a group meeting over here, I guess it seemed like. But also, this is when thunder and lightning get to hunt too. So um, you're not going to have the regular Bigfoot activity at that time because thunder and lightning are in the area, and that's kind of the time to every other ones just kind of step out of their way because they are allowed to hunt at this time. So we're beeping the car alarm while we're taking the video um, with the eye shine and the youth. We know that thunder is in the area, thunder and lightning, so we're using that technique also. And even though the winds are picking up and the rains are coming, the thunder's not coming in our direction. It's moving it in the other direction, which if anybody knows that to be an oddity, that is an oddity. The thunder and the lightning should be going with the storm, with the rain. But in this instance, it was going in an opposite direction around us. So those are things that we're noticing and things that we're doing. Those are deterrences that we do and we use while we're out in the field and here in our own areas. The storm is approaching, so I'm going to we're going to see this first video, and it is with the youth. There, you got eye shine to the right of them, and then you're going to see some eye shine just also to the right of them. But this one's more like about maybe 10 feet from them. You're going to see one off to the right. It's behind the fence. There's actually two or three there. But you're going to see the one eye shine of that time, and then we're going to show you some more of that night. But you'll also notice the flashing, and that's lightning. Those are things, the weather and things happening at that time. Now that was the first when the youth went down the first time using the thermals. They were getting readings. They couldn't see the creatures there because they were in pitch dark, and so we were the ones with the night vision. We weren't far from them. We kept them in sight at all times. We kept everyone in sight at all times to make sure everyone stayed close together so that if we needed to back up or anything, nobody stepped on anybody's toes or tripped or anything. We always make sure we know exactly where everybody is. And if we do have like an encounter or an aggression, that we will go shoulder to shoulder, as we taught in the tracking courses also. Um, so the storm is not coming in our direction, even though, I mean, the storm is the water, the rain, the winds, but thunder and lightning, they're not coming in our direction. We continue to do that whenever we hear the thunder and everything until we can hear that it's fading away, it's going in the other direction, which was a big oddity. There's no dogs barking. Everything's quiet out there. We're still running the thermals and the night vision. And I'm going to show this second part. It's a little bit better, and then I'm going to show a picture of some of the other eye shine that we caught. And we haven't got to go through all the pictures yet to where we can blow them up, because it was when the lightning would flash, it would light up. And those are things that we look for when we're going over film, is that lightning flash, because that shows us what's out there and it gives us an extra light to see Bigfoots in trees or standing by trees or by buildings. As soon as it flashes up, slow your camera. If you're taking film during a thunderstorm or lightning, take pictures, run it through all those, the film through the lightning and everything, then go back, slow it down. Every time it flashes, slow down and stop right there. And then you'll find if there's something new or not in that area. But that's what we're using. We'll show you some flashes and things whenever we can get into that. So it's quiet. Let me show you the second video real fast, and I'm going to show you another picture. This is of the same area. Okay, and in that last video we were showing, well, the first one we showed you eye shine on the right. There's a couple there, and then one that was only about 10 feet from the youth. It was I was from their height. What would it be? You think 8 foot, 9, maybe 10.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably 8 to 10 foot creature that was near the youth. And then that last video, when they're coming back to us, we're walking backwards. We're backing out while the youth come up. Whenever we all group up together. But some of that picture I want to show you real fast. This is the picture of that video. Just slowed down. I didn't get all the eye shine. We had more multiple Bigfoot's in the area. But here is an example of some of the the Bigfoots that were right near us, or right near the youth.
And on the other side of that tree, that's where that blind is, and on the other side of that is where the young people come out and play on their hoverboards at night there in the dark.
Yeah, youth, children. We're talking children now. They ride their hoverboards right past that tree, where these Bigfoots are looking over, because they're looking at us right now. They know that we're different. They know that we're not from the area. They know what vehicles live there. They know who lives there. They know what time the people go to work, what time they go to sleep.
They know if you're armed.
They know if you're armed. They know if you're trackers, hunters, or visitors, campers.
They know if you're spiritually armed.
Yeah, they do know that also. But the homeowner stated and said to us that they know, meaning the Bigfoots, they said they know that you're here. And they know that you're different people. They knew that we were not ordinary visitors or neighbors coming to check on them or see how they were doing. And also at that time that we're talking with the homeowner, it's outside, it's clear. One of the homeowners says, well, the storm's supposed to be over by 11 o'clock. And we've got clear skies. There's no storm, but the radar still says that there's a storm over us. And so we're like, well, there's no storm above us, but even though the radar is saying that, that storm was generated and it was taken away from that area. The Bigfoots went to another area at that time. The homeowner also stated that this is the quietest that this neighborhood has ever been. That every night all the dogs are barking over here on the far side, and the dogs over here be barking, and it's constant. It's all the time. Anytime it's dark, it's those dogs are barking, and we never heard one dog. I don't think. Besides the little dogs in the yard and things like that playing, we never heard one disturbance. There was no movement in that yard. There was no movement while we were out there, but in the morning we did see some grass pressed down in certain areas that we knew that they would use. We knew where to go look for them in the morning, and so it's like track traps. But the homeowner did state that was odd because the dogs are always barking. There's no rest there. And then that next day, after all these things, how quiet it is, everyone slept well. We got to sit down with the homeowners and watch the DVD. We got to watch the DVD with the family, and as soon as they watched the DVD, and it was completely over, we didn't talk during it. We just let the family watch. And that after the film or the documentary, we became more open to each other. You want to explain?
Well, and the family members began to remember different things over the years that they had seen. The puzzle pieces started falling together. I saw this, I saw that. The head of the male head of the household said that he was excited for us also to go see some property in Mississippi that he had grown up in, and we'll do that on another trip. But now he was putting two and two together of things that had happened when he was a kid that he didn't understand that those were Bigfoot related. So that was exciting because he had also, I think, a little bit thought that his family was overreacting, or maybe some things were their imagination. But once he got to see the night vision, got to see the eye shine, got to see the thermals, it shook him up. And he was very grateful to be able to recognize
know
what
how
those things
close.
are. Yeah, that shook him up, right there where even they have a video from before that when we were first working with them of the the vocal in the woods just across the little side road, and the young child jumping on the trampoline. So what the heck was that? They all heard it, and that just just made it real to him of how close these things are really getting. And we did see the blind in that cedar, but I think there was just so much going on that they didn't maybe pay attention to the. There was so much to see,
Information.
but it's neat. I'm glad that he didn't, because he found it himself today, and found the trail behind from the junkyard cutting through along another fence line. And so they're recognizing things themselves, and everybody will be safer for it. And they're taking some different measures to remove blind spots and debris, and make sure trash is washed out, the food packaging, things like that. There's a lot of things that you can do to keep them away from your house. They may run to your neighbors, but let your neighbors know what's up too, if they're willing to listen to you. And if not, at least protect your family.
Right here on the front, that's the PayPal to get your DVD, to get your Bigfoot DVD, the Bigfoot documentary. All this information is in there. Also, the techniques that we've been using, they're in there. You also have the mind control technique and different things to look for. We do show you the translucencies and Bigfoots also. But the translucency, when you see those also, that will answer some questions of, feelings and things like that around you. And like the homeowner, after we watched the DVD together, it brought back a lot of memories of seeing these things as a child, or behind his home, or things like that, whenever from his youth on to now. And he also knows now that there are some occupied areas in his area, and he wanted to show us all the structures and things like Tracker E was talking about in Mississippi. But we're also in Louisiana right now, doing this track and locate for the family, and watching the DVD. The homeowners are now able to spot the blinds, find the blinds. They're finding the trails. They're cleaning up their areas. They know the entry and exit points. They know what to look for now. Their family is safer now. Lighting up their areas, their dark areas. They know to do all these things now. They know, with the confirmation of the night vision and everything. But I also want to show you this real quick video. It's the same family before we ever got to get to their location. And this is to show you that even during the daytime, these things are close to them. And we're talking just a block away, and the home that is a block away, where we got most of the confirmation, has a large family of children who ride their hoverboards at night in pitch darkness in that same area, and that's also where they're finding trails and things. This Bigfoot documentary has saved lives. It is saving them right now. Even with the family that's who did, and some of the families who have seen the DVD, their areas are more secure. They know what to look for, and they're also sending us information on those blinds and things that they're finding themselves now by watching the Bigfoot documentary. It is very important that you do have this for the safety of your family. We use it, those same techniques we use, and we have been deterring Bigfoots from people's areas, not just ours.
And there was an elderly man across the street from them, just coming and going from his garage to his house, back and forth and beyond them, and to the right of them was so much eye shine in a whole area that the entire family and us, we're all uncomfortable with that area. If you get that feeling, if your eyes just keep going, everyone knows what that feels like. Someone's watching them. Pay attention to that. That's one really great thing about this whole family. They're all sensitive and they all pay attention to what they're feeling, and now they know what they're feeling. So uh, they're going to be great trackers.
And also that this family has seen Bigfoots before in other locations like New Mexico and things like this. But until you see the Bigfoot documentary, some things will slip right past you. You won't know what to look for. We see people go right past these blinds every day. They're by daycares, behind homes. People just don't know what to look for or what to do. But this documentary, it's one of a kind. It's the only one like it in the world. That's the only one with the answers that you need to protect yourself and your family and your friends and neighbors. And like we said, it's already saved lives. And the people that come onto the channel, that we started off just hearing their story,
Right.
but we didn't want to be like a channel where we just hear your story, then we go to the next person, the next person, next person. We know that you have activity by your story, and we can help you deter them from your area. It doesn't mean that they're not going to go to your neighbor's area, but if you can get information to them as well, because you know the area, you know what to look for now. When you get the Bigfoot documentary, you will know exactly what to look for, and you can help your family and friends and your neighbors, like we're saying. Um, but the neighbors, the homeowners are also doing track traps to try to look for more tracks. The children, there was one child who hadn't seen the video yet, and that child was wanting to ride her bicycle down the road in the dark. But the father asked that we show the child at least the eye shine, and that their uncle and aunt um, were very close to these things. The young child watched the video, seen the eye shine and seen how close it was, and never brought up riding the bicycle down that road, at least to us or to the family at that time.
Right.
So those things are saving lives once you see these things and know that they're there. Um, you don't have to convince anybody, but once you watch the DVD, the proof is right there. The Bigfoots, you'll see the Bigfoots there. You'll see the translucent ones. You'll see their traps, where we went to get you all this information. It's just packed with everything that you need for your family. So we're going to read the comments if there are any, as we do each night, and then we're going to be back tomorrow. We have some more updates, things that we did also. We also want to talk about when we went out with search and rescue and first responders, and how we taught through our tracking ways, and also things that you're going to find in the DVD, which the search and rescue did say that they will get the DVD and pull it together as a group so that all of them can get the information together. So if the search and rescue, special forces, Marine snipers, Army Rangers, professional trackers, hunters, grandmothers, um, youth, people your age are getting the DVD and learning from it, and they will tell you they've learned more in just this hour and 45-minute DVD than anyone has ever taught them before their entire life. We've also got that at shows, and we've only, and one person said, just talking to you for 30 minutes, I've learned more than any of the conferences that I've ever been to before. And these are people who go to conferences looking for answers, but they're not getting them at the conferences.
Medicine
We've talked to medicine people, giving them this information to help them in their journey and their healing and their helping other people, because they do have influence of people. And once you have this information, you have the truth. Nobody can ever misguide you again on this. You have all the information and you have the truth. It's a very important DVD. I would say get it as soon as possible. Like we were talking about, they're not right now. They're limited. There are people with Bigfoot activity right now that need to get this DVD, and whenever they do find this, and if you know of people who do have occupation or activity right now who need the DVD, please give them this information. It's paypal.me/the Bigfoot expert Jerry Williams. You can find that on PayPal. We'll get that shipped out to them or to you just as soon as we get your order. It is very important, and you can help other people by getting it for somebody else. You can get it for your parents to watch if they don't believe you, if you've seen something.
Even your grandparents, they're probably most often the ones that are living out in the country that you're sending your grandkids to. I mean, your kids too. And they may not know what's going on out there. I didn't know until I knew. So it's an important DVD. You won't regret getting it, not at all. There's someone in your life. If you're watching this channel, there's someone in your life that needs to know about the information that is on this DVD.
So whenever we left this area, it was a quiet, peaceful neighborhood. The Bigfoots did know that we were in the area and that we could see them. We had night vision and thermals. We weren't ordinary people. We've actually had people ask us if Bigfoots have growled at us or made the loud calls, the howling calls around us, or wood knocked around us, and that answer is no.
I would add to that they did me until I learned these techniques. I used to get all of that, and just with this, I feel so much safer. And looking back, I can realize how many close calls. And if you've never seen the slaughter yard or one of their bone yards, you would understand why I'm very, very passionate about this. So I have heard all those noises, but not since I know how to prevent that. I have also gotten disoriented in a patch of wood, so I understand that feeling when people talk about that. So my heart goes out to this boy that got disoriented in those woods and got lost. I thankfully, just already coming from a Christian background, I knew to pray, quote Bible verses, sing gospel music, which most of those are based on Bible verses or their direct quotes of them. All those things protected me, and but now I've been able to prevent them from even happening again, so that I don't have to do that too. You know, I do that before I go out there. I know more what I'm, how to prevent that. Anyway, I just want to say that. Thank you for that. Seriously.
Well, the Bigfoots do recognize people. They do recognize if you're a regular person who's got a routine or a habit or a schedule. They know those people. But certain people and a certain way you move, Bigfoots will avoid you. They do not want to come up against someone who's experienced, who is a tracker, someone who's going to be paying attention to what they left as far as evidence or proof that they're there. You will get wood knocks if people are yelling or talking or communicating like we are right now, this kind of voice. Whenever we're out in the field, we're quiet, we're using the hand signals or gestures, or if we got to talk, we're real close and we're only whispering. We know that they can mimic all the sounds, so we're very cautious when we're out in the field. So let's check the comments real fast.
Oh, okay.
And let's see what we got here before we close.
Joe Blow, hello.
Joe Blow.
I want to see that. I want to see the night vision. Show me, show me.
We did post that. Also, in that DVD, Joe Blow, I remember you said he's going to get a DVD, but you will also see the night vision there and the thermals.
Carla, hello, Carla says, yes, we lost all our cats, rabbits, and dogs over the course of 2 weeks. It's awful. So is the Bigfoot controlling the pup?
Yes. They use the puppies to lure children and people, but they also eat puppies and dogs. So look for them to use even small rabbits, armadillos, kittens, things like that to lure people into the woods or to stop and get out of the vehicle.
Mm-hmm. Bigfoot Anon says, hey, y'all. Hey, Bigfoot Anon. Lisa Lou says, hey, y'all. Hi, Tracker E and Jerry. I love your shows. Very informative. Well, we sure appreciate that. We're very blessed to have you here. Great Babe.
Lisa Lou. A Great Babe. Hey.
Hi, Great Babe. Carla says, what state and county are these violent Bigfoot in? Pick a state.
Every state. Every state.
Wish we could see it's exponentially worse since 2020.
And we've tracked in Oklahoma, Texas, Colorado, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, all those areas, and we found Bigfoots in each one of them. And in the Bigfoot DVD, we talked to you about where to look for them, where their ambush places are, and where you will find them. And when you do find them, you know also in the DVD how to deter them and what to do.
And we have contact with trackers from Canada and other countries as well too. This isn't just an American thing, but it is very much an American thing.
Yes.
Bernice says, thank you for all the info you have provided to us. Our pleasure. Our pleasure.
And
Thank you for everything.
Yeah, and great to hear from you, Bernice Dubois.
Tough lady. Carla says, I know I have learned more listening to their videos since they were on abnormal investigations than I have the last 4 years. Yes.
All right.
Thank you. We appreciate
Thank you, Carla.
that. We appreciate that. That makes it worth it, Carla.
It does.
And you'll be safer for it. And you teach other people too. Great Babe. For me, that feeling is like a hot breeze.
Okay. Hey, yeah. You could, to me, it kind of felt at that one time, it kind of felt like a warm, oily feeling, kind of like thick.
Heck.
Yeah, it just that's what it felt like for me anyway at that time.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember you said you could feel in your arms or something.
Yeah, there was just like a waterfall of the like chills, but in waves from top to bottom, over and over. Grape Ape also says, "When the tree frogs go silent, I go inside." Good idea, Grape Ape.
Yeah, and those normally aren't tree frogs. Those are Bigfoot's mimicking tree frogs. They also mimic locusts. That one bird chirp. They mimic the cricket. Also in the Bigfoot documentary, um, we talk about that as far as we call it the Bigfoot Symphony. And that's where you have multiple Bigfoots around you. One's a cricket or mimicking a cricket. One's mimicking a bird. One's mimicking a tree frog. Or you may have multiple tree frogs, but when they go all silent like that, it's not that that bird and a cricket just decided to stop. That is a Bigfoot who was mimicking who stopped. They all stopped together. So you're not going to have crickets and things like that because they eat all the crickets. They eat all the locusts. They eat worms, all the snakes. And especially if you don't have snakes in your area. Bigfoot just see them as one long piece of meat. So you're not going to have reptiles in your area. Okay.
Grape Ape says, "My husband used to be a denier until the night he wasn't. He learned the hard way. He was lucky it was just a bluff." Oh, yeah, absolutely. Scott says, "Hello, hello, Scott." Did I miss one?
About the bluff he learned the hard way. He was lucky it was just a bluff.
Absolutely. Scott says, "Hello." Chuck says, Booze Who from Texas. Is that a hello?
I guess.
Jerry says, "I put up the night sensor lights and now the neighborhood dogs stay near my house. Yep. They feel safer there."
They will stay in that light. They know that the Bigfoots, and the Bigfoots will tightrope that security light rope or that line or the light. So if you're looking for tracks or things like that, you would water the outside of that sensor. And if you can't see that sensor, get you a pair of night vision. There may be a monocular night vision, and go have somebody set those sensors off, and you'll be able to see the radius of that line. That's the same thing the Bigfoots use. They can see that line, so they're going to be tight roping it. So water that area, get it all soggy and everything, and you're going to find tracks in the morning at that edge of that light.
Mm-hmm.
So tomorrow, 7 o'clock Central Time Zone again. We do have some more updates. We're still working with one phone right now, so we will have that worked out to where we can get more callers to give us their stories and we can help them. We do have some dogman incidents. We do have some more trackers that want to share the information that they have on their areas. You all need to hear those things. These things are going on right now in their areas and in everyone's areas, actually.
Mm-hmm. And even this family, she still wants us to talk to her brother who also lives in that neighborhood. And each person in this family could have a whole show on their own, really, for all the experiences that they've had both here and in New Mexico. So
yeah, they this family does have a lot of information, past history information also, but also with the Bigfoot documentary, the DVD that they've got now, now they have the proof for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
No one can say they're crazy. Nobody can ridicule them. All they got to do is play this Bigfoot documentary DVD, and all the skepticism leaves. You will have all the information, all the proof that you need. So if there's nothing left for tonight,
I think that's it.
okay. So we will be back tomorrow night, Central Time Zone, 7 p.m. We're going to work on the guests and the information.
We want to get back with the grandmother in Alabama, our tracker in Alabama. Uh, she said there's something else going on at a water side there, so we can't wait to get back with her. And it's just not enough hours in the day.
Yeah,
But we
and
appreciate y'all being here. We appreciate your time being here.
yes, and the grandmother in Alabama, she has also the DVD. She has been listening to the channel. She has been using the techniques, and now she is able to help people in her community. Um, before that, um, she couldn't get the proof that she needed to convince everybody, but now she's been using traps, sensors, alarms, and things like that. And she's gotten that proof. She's gotten her own proof. Looks like there's one more comment.
Chuck Baker says, "Why do I keep having Bigfoot in my dreams? It peeks at me when I wake up it is a grayish one. You have a connection with this thing. Hello from Texas. That's Ojibwe for hello. Oh, awesome. Okay, appreciate that. Yes, there's a mind connection there, and you have to break that.
Oh, in the DVD, the Bigfoot documentary, we talk about the mind protection technique. We also talk about dreams being an open door, a two-way door. Once Bigfoot makes a connection with you, it will enter into your dreams. We do teach that mind protection technique, which is you have to also tell your body to continue to do whatever you need it to do while in this state. And in this state, you don't think about the past, the present, or the future, and you stop the internal dialogue. You don't talk to yourself. You build up a wall so that any mind speak or dreams or things like that will be blocked out. Anything that a Bigfoot would project towards you as fear or seeing yourself like mauled or torn up, it will reflect back to the Bigfoot because you have your barrier up.
When they're coming into your dreams, they're feeding on you energetically. Any intense emotion that you have, it could be lust, it could be anger, it could be fear. Any intense emotion like that, they will feed off of that, just as a demon will. A good way to visualize a barrier around yourself of silence is glass so thick, like you're in a cylinder so thick that you can't hear anything going on out there, or maybe it's a bubble, but it goes above and below you, and you're inside of it, and in there is safety. And picture that, and that will not allow anything to penetrate. Just practice with it. And if you're not even allowing yourself to talk to yourself, you can't be fooled into thinking that another voice is your own voice. A lot of people will think they are telling themselves to kill themselves, but it's really other voices. It's external voices, or it's mind speak. Demonic oppression. It's all the same thing. And so that's how you can protect against it. He says they can hear our internal chatter, can't they? Not if you use the mind protection technique.
And also, these predators can communicate in any language that you know, any country that you may be in. You could be French, it'll be a French-speaking predator. Chinese, there'll be a Chinese-speaking predator. Through the mind, any communication can be made. Like Tracker E was talking about the dreams. Those are open doors. You do need to close them off. Don't dream at all. Don't dream at all. Only dream if you need something, need an answer, and you only go into that dream and come right back out. Otherwise, do not dream at all because dreams are open doors. When these creatures find you with an open door and you're dreaming, because that's not what you intended to do, that open door allows the predators, the energy predators, to come into your dream. And as Tracker E was saying, that's whenever they want to stimulate, they want to frighten you, they want to build your energy up so that they can feed on it. This is when you'll also feel sluggish, weighed down, you can't move, you fall, and things like that. But these are open doors. These predators will come into your dreams. Bigfoots through mind speak, if they make that connection out there, they will be in your dreams. They will visit you and scare you, trying to get that energy from you. And the main goal is to consume your energy and your blood and flesh from any predator. That is their main goal.
Linda says, Texas here. Hello, everyone. Hi, Linda.
Hello, Linda Garcia.
Glad you're here.
Glad you're here.
I also wanted to say Christians were taught to put on the full armor of God. That's read Ephesians 6 and just learn how to protect yourself. Dig in, do your own research. Don't ask other people to interpret these verses for you. Read them yourself and then say, Lord, what are you trying to help me understand about this? And research yourself. But start with the full armor of God if you're a Christian and you need to protect yourself from these things. That's the way you do it.
And also, trust your faith. Whatever faith it is, you keep your trust. You call on Jesus if that's what you need to do. You do not leave your home during a thunderstorm, a rainstorm. You stay in your home. Lock those windows, lock those doors, because those Bigfoot groups are hunting on this night. They're trying to get you to lose your faith, to run outside that house, go to a public shelter, go to your storm cellar, because you have no faith in your belief or your God. And if you have no faith, you will run out of your house. You will try to get to a shelter, to your car. That's when the Bigfoots can take you. And if they don't take you, they also have the right to ransack your house, destroy it, set it on fire, smash it with trees, destroy your whole area. So keep your faith. That threshold, also in the mind, with that mind protection technique, that is also a threshold. Your home is a threshold. Whenever you're in some kind of secure area, use that as your threshold. Don't open those doors for anybody once you're secure. That knock on that door, that voice behind that door, that call for help, you stay where you are till you can look and you can search tomorrow. But you make sure you are safe and your family is safe with that threshold.
Your body is another threshold. Guard your ears, your eyes, what you eat. We pray over our food. We, for one thing, show gratitude, but for another thing, we pray that nothing unclean enters our body, that sort of thing. Guard your thresholds, every one of them. It's just make it a habit.
So tomorrow we're going to have more information for you, more guests, more truth, things that you also need to know about. We're going to, looks like we got another comment real fast. And
great. We love that y'all are talking. That's wonderful, because these comments will disappear after the show. Grape Ape says, every house around us was damaged by the massive tornado that went through, but ours. So sorry to hear about them, but good for you, Grape Ape.
You must have stayed home, Grape Ape.
And Chuck says, thank you. Very welcome. I watched a video one time of someone, actually I watched a couple videos of someone rebuking tornadoes. And they did it in faith, and in one case the tornado dissipated completely, and in the other case it lifted above their house, went over it, came down, and then wiped out beyond it. So a couple years after seeing those videos, one of my daughters and I were in a city, and we were watching tornadoes begin to form coming down. It would suck down a little further each time. And I remember that video. I thought, well, let me just go ahead and give it a go. And so I rebuked the tornado in the name of Jesus, and it sucked right back up into the sky. And my teen daughter at the time said, whoa, I don't even pray. And I got to admit, that was cool because it didn't come back down again. Jesus tells us we can do all the things that he did and more. So if you're a Christian, it's okay to rebuke those storms and to tell them to go away.
Yes, energy is powerful. We are powerful. You are powerful. And we've met a lot of people we consider warriors on this journey.
Oh, yeah.
Women, men, youth.
Tina Cowie, I hope I pronounce it right, says, a big hello from Australia. Awesome. Have learned so much from you. Great respect for Australians, for brave Australians, because some of the critters that we see over there, they're impressive. You guys have a lot to deal with.
Yes, they
over
have.
there. You are some brave, tough people.
I think the
Legendary.
Yowie. Is it the Yowie?
Mhm.
Yowie over there.
Mhm.
Y'all have them. We have them over here. Just
Yeah.
a different name.
Yeah.
And, Chuck
Glad you're here.
Baker. He says he is definitely getting the DVD. Oh, good, Chuck.
Awesome, Chuck. You will not regret it.
Yeah, we've not had one person regret getting the DVD. We've actually had people add more to what we asked as far as the price of the DVD. People have sent extra just to help us in those certain situations because they know that we're out in the field and, getting there and getting back and helping other people. Because we don't ask for funds to go help or track, for people who need it. We're always, whenever we're able to do that, we will get there and we will help you. So we've met a lot of good people, a lot of good warriors out there, and we can't stress it enough about the DVD. It is very important that you have it for your family. All these techniques that we've been using and sharing with grandmothers and some of the best military in the world use the techniques, and they've all learned from the DVD things that you're not going to learn anywhere else.
And that is one thing we're hearing over and over, that your questions are not being answered other places. And so that's why we're here, because my questions weren't being answered in other places either. And once you learn, it's just so easy. They're not brilliant. They're just repetitive. Tina says, have seen things in the bush that only make sense after watching this channel. Thank you. That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Well, thank you, Tina, on that.
Thank you for that
Definitely.
confirmation. We hear that a lot too. Linda Garcia, look at the bottom of this screen there.
Right here, this area. Or you can go to lowercase PayPal me or paypal.me/the Bigfoot expert Jerry Williams. But it's also in the top of the comments. It's the first comment, and I believe it's in the description as well on this channel.
And the way this works, this StreamYard, these channels or these videos won't last up here forever. Is it until you get a certain number of subscribers, or how does that
every time we post a new stream, that they hold 10, and every time we put a new one, that other one gets kicked out.
So record them or get the DVD, because this information is not going to be up there forever. We're exploring some other platforms, but we're just letting you know that about the DVD. you'll be able to keep it for a long time.
Yeah, and people are right now they're getting families together and things like that to watch the DVD together, so that everyone has the information together. Search and rescues getting it, first responders, people that you would be calling. So instead of doing that, get your own DVD, so that when they show up, and if they've not seen this DVD, you can actually be the ones helping the search and rescue as far as being safe out there and what to look for. Even if they don't know what you're talking about, you can still suggest things to look out for in ambush areas.
These Bigfoot shows are getting people hurt. No whooping, no tree knocking, no feeding them. They don't need your help. Wildlife doesn't need your help feeding it. They have it. God has created an amazing system. Leave it be. They're okay without you feeding them. What you're doing is making them vulnerable, and you're making the Bigfoot, you're making the predators more aggressive, and you're making the prey more vulnerable by making them dependent on you. Stop it.
Mm-hmm. So the wildlife will take care of themselves. They always have been before you got here, before everything. Right now, you need to be secure. Your family needs to be secure and aware of everything around you and the surroundings. Like we said, this is not to discourage anybody. We just want everybody to be more protected, their families protected, and to know what to look for, because so many people just don't know what to look for.
And the woods are getting smaller. The more that happens, the more these things are going to get flushed out. And that's where we're at. So we love nature as much as you do. We just want you to be safe in it.
And like we're talking about the information that we have and have been given out, we have one special forces tracker who was with another tracker, had watched some of the video, and they said, well, why don't we just pull over and test this out? And they pulled over and they looked, exactly for what we told to look for, where to look for it. And it was just an isolated area, and they found all the signs. They found burrows, they found tunnels, blinds, ambush spots.
And if you think that you live in a small town or a city and they're not around you, you're likely incorrect. Empty lots, abandoned buildings, any place that a homeless or an addict or a runaway would live, these things can live also, and hunt. So when it's what the authorities would consider the throwaways of society, they don't really mind if those people disappear. Maybe some do, but it just kind of takes that problem away from them. So they're not going to dig into it real hard of what happened. And everybody that disappears is not just a victim of human trafficking.
Yeah, don't be the people that you have to call for help. You need to depend on yourself and your family, your neighbors who are in that area first. Be the people that you can be dependent on. This is a 24/7 job that warriors have. We know we're on call 24/7. We don't drink or do anything like that. We're on call 24/7. We know that when people call us or need us, we have to be ready. We got our grab bags ready, everything we need. And but learn as much as you can. And this DVD will put you above any researcher, anything that you've ever seen on YouTube or documentaries. It'll put you above, way above the very best of the researchers.
And children are going to be the quickest learners. They're down low and they're paying attention to everything you're not seeing, because the down low is where these blinds and this tree skirting starts. And children are the most vulnerable, and they're the ones most observant and most likely to see it. So make it a family affair, and teach them after you've scouted around and learned from the DVD yourself. Then teach your kids and teach them how to be strong. Because if something happens to you and you're out there,
Yeah.
what will they do? Just cower in a corner? Teach them to tell you at the first sign of seeing anything wrong. You don't make them afraid, but the same as you say, don't get into the van or don't go with that person alone. Um, just part of life, teaching our kids to be aware of predators.
Yeah, and teach them to spot it just like they would a bear. Just come up and say, "Hey, Dad, I seen a Bigfoot out there in the back." Make it common so that they're able to talk to you. Um, so tomorrow night, it looks like we're gonna have some more information for you. This is an ongoing thing for us. This is what we do. We don't go on vacations. We don't go to parties.
We're not
Things like-
complaining. We love this.
Yeah, this is
we take it seriously.
we take
Yeah.
it serious. This is what we do. Like I said, you're not gonna see us hot air ballooning and things like that. And the saying that we used to say is that if we look like we're on vacation, then we're up to something dangerous. So,
Yeah. And we can hardly help it anyway. If we see trees, we're going to look for a sign.
yeah, we know what to look for, and we're always aware. We want you to be the same way. Stay safe out there. So we'll see you tomorrow night.
Yep.
7 p.m. Central Time Zone.
Hey, thank you to all the new people too, and always thank you to the people who've been with us a while. Thank you.
Yes, very good to hear from new people.
It sure is.
Comments are great. We love that. We're here just to share the information and to get this information to you. Don't forget about the Bigfoot DVD, the documentary. You do need this. It is very important that you have it. We do have a limited supply at this moment. We've just been real busy. So we know that you need it. So order it as quickly as possible. We'll get it shipped out to you. And once you get it, you will understand and you will be able to communicate more with us on this channel whenever. And we won't have to explain thunder and lightning and things like that.
Right.
You'll understand what we're talking about. We're talking direct, even though people may think we're talking like a metaphor, but we're being very direct in what we say. We'd like to thank everybody for tonight. We had a great time. Linda, the DVD is $101. Great Babe says, God bless everyone and good night.
God bless you too, Great Babe. Good night.
We'll see everyone tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central Time Zone.
Y'all have a good evening.
Everyone have a great evening. We'll see you tomorrow.